let's have you guys ask some questions. Sir?
Just a few questions. Como é que o senhor começou e qual é a influência que o senhor teve de alguém? Porque John Williams aqui é um dos maiores compositores. Como é que o senhor começou a fazer roteiro para cinema? E que influência de quem o senhor recebeu?
The question is, how did you get started being a film composer? You mentioned John Williams was a famous composer here. How did you get started doing film soundtracks?
I had a
or
group.
Film scores?
I had a group, English, maybe answering in English.
Yes, let's do English.
You're
That way we don't.
brasileiro, né, Chico?
Yeah, but let's do it in English. That way we don't have to translate because
But the
everybody will
majority
understand.
here is English, is
Yes.
American?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm the host, so I say how it goes. Please.
Progressive rock group called Sacred Heart of Earth. And the director Jaime Monjardim saw an exhibition in the television that in Rede Manchete, and he called me to do his new TV series that we didn't know at the time, but it was going to become the huge TV success in Brazil in the 90s, what called Pantanal. It was a revolution in Brazilian television, but we didn't know that was going to happen. And for the first time, television music at those days was a very bling bling music, you know, all keyboard and very fast. And those days I had this group, and I had already a project called Symphony of Nature. And since I play string instruments, the whole thing was orchestrated and full of acoustic percussion with very ethnical and very symphonic at the same time. When he called me to do Pantanal, all this music I had much music, and I put all in there. And images were very large and very contemplative, different from the global very fast edition. Manchete scenes were long because they didn't have programmation, you know. They didn't have, how to say, fast programs, so they could waste time. And this soap opera was so terrible success, and we kind of got married, you know, me and Jaime Monjardim. Kind of professional marriage, was one work after the other. And he developed his work and he wanted to film. So I started doing music for film because of concerts.
And you have collaborated with him a few times, right?
What?
You have collaborated with Jaime a few times.
I would say only with him, because the other, when he was kind of doing something, another director called me, but it was the most with him.
Posso fazer uma pergunta? Conheço muito bem a Jaime Monjardim. Trabalhou muito bem o senhor, porque ele deixou o senhor à vontade de criar também. Não é isso?
Ele é filho daquela Maísa, né? Imagina um menino que seguiu a mãe a vida inteira, nos camarins da vida, assim. Ele cresceu muito musical. Então eu ficava muito feliz com ele, porque ele era muito sensível. Não é só pela questão... Mas é bom quando você trabalha. Se eu faço uma coisa que a pessoa está sendo assim, não sei se é isso, é uma coisa. Se você faz algo que a pessoa, yes! Todo mundo gosta, né, de acertar, né? Então, como aquele jogador, like a soccer player, that I kicked the ball, you know, all kicks were goals, you know. So there are some times in our lives that everything we do is good, you know. Now I discovered that there are other cycles that are more difficult. Everything we do is difficult, but these are cycles. I don't know if I answered your question.
Marcos,
Os discos do filme, eu cuidei para ele 5 que eu não sabia que existia dela.
Ah, é?
Eu cuidei dela quando ela teve aqui nesse país.
Ah, que bacana.
o Marcos, eu não tenho TV Globo, mas eu assisti aqui pela Telemundo um grande sucesso que foi A Casa das Sete Mulheres. A Casa das Sete Mulheres, né? A Telemundo passou sucesso absoluto, acredito até mais do que o Clone. O que me impressiona em você, como, falando popular, trilhista de novela, é que você trabalhou com 7 mulheres, 7 personagens totalmente diferentes. Como é que você administra, como é que você fez esse laboratório de dar uma música tão encaixadinha tão maravilhosa para cada uma delas. O papel da Nive Maria foi um negócio assim que a gente ficava... Eu sou atriz, você sabe, né? Então, a trilha da Nive Maria e do papel da Camila Camargo era assim, um negócio, a gente ficar assim... Você hipnotizava, da Camila Morgado, né? Hipnotizava esses dois personagens da Nive.
E mas pode esquecer disso tudo, eu não vejo nada disso.
Não, mas como é que você fez, assim?
Everything is done before.
Let me just translate the question for the, 1 second. The lady has seen the soap opera in Brazil, which was incredible.
Don't say soap opera.
Soap opera.
TV series.
TV series.
Soap opera here is so shitty stuff that we don't have movies, we have TV series.
TV series.
Brazilian TV series are great. Because soap opera is so important.
It's called The House of Seven Women, as the leader has described. Each character, she's an actress herself, and she was quite impressed with the acting, the performances of these 7 actresses, and each one had a specific theme. And the question is, how did you create such an amazing soundtrack, if you will, for each character in the TV series? I apologize.
And I answered her that, in fact, I didn't see the acting, because Jaime, as I said, he needs the music to create, to direct. So I had to compose the whole stuff before the actors start filming. So when I get into a filming set, a recording set, everybody comes to embrace me, say, Marcos, oh! All the actors and the actors come to embracing me, because they do the laboratory, the work with my music. Yeah, I do everything before. When they start filming, they film. Jaime put the music, and they cry, they laugh, they do everything, and so their work is far better than in silence. He discovered this. So I need to give the music a long time before the filming. And so sometimes I'm
it's
happy.
An interesting process because it was reversed. You had something for the actors before, as opposed to...
It's always before.
Very, very interesting.
And many times I have... you get so inspired that start doing lyrics too. So it gives me a problem, because this is a trouble, because all these TVs work with publishing stuff. And when they show songs, it's kind of political with the big majors. And since I work the major themes, sometimes I hear lyrics, and I do the lyrics, and in the 7 women, there were 7 songs, and I create a huge political problem for TV Globo, because all the majors say, oh, this guy is he's doing everything, but the themes were so overwhelming that they couldn't change, and so we create also songs besides the orchestrated tracks.
Good question.
Can I have a question?
Sure, of course.
How many musics you have to create in a film, in a feature film like this? It's I don't know how many musics you have to compose.
Depending on the director. For example, Jaime is completely hungry of music. In the Clone, El Clone was a TV series. I did something like 30 CDs, 30 hours of orchestrated music.
Wow.
The Gladiator were 2 CDs. Not comparing, because of course, but creative process this. Okay, you say to me, it's not 2 hours. El Clone was 150 chapters. I don't know. So you think I have to pick a theme and how do you say, to fazer uma autópsia dele, autópsia não.
Autopsy, to break it down
in 1,000 versions.
1,000 versions. To develop, that's a better word.
120 chapters, for example, you need to do much music. Especially if the theme is a success. If the music goes alright, everybody sings, so you have to create too much stuff. And there are dozens of characters, each one with a theme. To do TV series is really tough work.
Good.
Just a comment. Villa Lobos, he did the music for Floresta Amazônica many years ago.
Green Mansions.
Yeah, and then on that the adaptation was vice versa. From his music, the photographer, the director did the whole movie, adapting the romantic theme, Audrey Hepburn, Anthony Perkins, things like that. But it was vice versa. From your music, they did the whole thing.
Villa-Lobos, I know he had a hard work here in America because he created the music for this film, Green Mansions, that would become today the Floresta do Amazonas, that beautiful orchestral suite. And he was, as you know, a tremendous genius, but he didn't have this adaptation to the movie scheme. I would say. So the first when they start to cutting, he was completely mad, and he promised never to do cinema music again. He shortly died after, but he of course would. I don't know if he would keep his promise, but in fact we had, because of this inspiration because of the movie, we had this tremendous work, beautiful. Forest Amazon is one of the most beautiful works that he did in the end of his life. And I think he was inspired because he was doing a music for a product that was going to be worldwide, shown worldwide. I think for a Brazilian that stays there, America always means the door, the gateway to the international success. Villa-Lobos really was quite successful here. He had a musical on Broadway, I don't know if you know this, Madalena. He had a musical on Broadway. Villa-Lobos,
I didn't know that.
He has, he was showing, he was unlucky because on the day of the presentation of Madalena, his musical, a great musical, but very expensive. The financial director, they didn't like it very much. But there was a strike, a musician's strike in the day.
Wow.
So it was only one day presentation, the strike began.
Wow. Oh my God.
But nobody knows this. Villa-Lobos was in Broadway and in Hollywood too.